This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.
From the remnants of Jeddah City comes a broadcast that will shake the Empire to its core. Rogue One Radio will discuss all things Star Wars and all things in the nerd culture, in and out of the galaxy far, far away.
Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Rogue One Radio. This is episode 110, and with us tonight, joining us is Melanie. How are you doing today, Melanie?
Fine, how are you?
Good. And thanks for coming on with us. We're going to talk the season 1 finale of Andor tonight.
Woohoo! I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Looks like you got a surprise for us for later, too.
A little one. It'll be one that goes throughout the whole holiday season. You'll see.
Oh, dear. I'm scared. Okay. Who do we have in the chat room so far? Ubaldo T is with us. He was here a little bit earlier, actually. Dragon Buddy, I don't think is going to be with us tonight. That's a shame. Blue Void is with us. Derpy 501st.
Nice.
To the chat. Derpy says Andor is better than Mando. Yeah, I said it. Well, at least I enjoyed more than Mando. Well, I can agree with you. Scott from Used and Abused is also with us tonight.
Hey, Scott. Hello, everybody.
All right. So, let's jump into things and start off with our first tune of the evening. This one comes from a band based out of Norman, Oklahoma called the Costanzas. And we were actually supposed to play this one on our holiday special, but things didn't go, or on our Halloween special, and things did not go according to plan on that show, and we didn't play any music. So I was going through my list of stuff to play, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to play these guys. So this is a song. It was a single that they put out a couple of years ago. It is called It's the Dawn of the Dead and I Feel Fine.
Resurrected and my true love.
All right. That was It's the Dawn of the Dead and I Feel Fine by the Costanzas. Fun stuff. So,
Music.
what's
Love it.
that? What's that,
That is
Nicole?
awesome music. I love it.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll have some more coming up for you. All right. So, what's been going on this week? How about you, Melanie? Anything interesting happened this week?
Interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
No,
I'm winding
nothing
up
special.
November.
November.
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
November is watching a bunch of film noir movies, and I've watched just about one every day.
Okay. So how about some examples of noir? Movies?
Well, you can watch old film noir, which is Double Indemnity. Nicole knows all these movies.
I'm sure she does.
A lot of them. Double Indemnity is one. The Maltese Falcon is one. Movies like that.
See? Can you see?
I can see you.
Yeah.
I know that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, can you see? Can you notice?
Well,
I might have to think
I see all
for
your
next-
Funko Pops
No.
and your Grogu.
I dressed it up for Christmas. It's going to change every week, which we'll get to that in a second because I did actually know some of the things off of Melanie's list this past couple weeks, and it's awesome because I'm watching as she's tweeting things. I'm like, some of them I've seen, some I haven't. Some I'm like, wait, I need more details. I want to know, and I was already also going on to. I can't wait to see what she's going to say for December. Because I love old movies. So I'm just like, I can't wait to see Melanie's list. I can't wait to see it. So, yeah.
Very interesting.
That's been fun.
So what would you say is your favorite noir movie?
Probably Double Indemnity. Because it's one of the first ones I saw. And it's one I've watched a lot. But it's a lot of fun because Fred McMurray's in it in a way that you've never seen Fred McMurray.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you think he's a Disney dad, you got to see him as Walter Neff. It's a whole other world.
Very cool. All righty. So it looks like Kim and Isaac are also in the chat today. So thanks for joining us. Lots of fun. You been doing anything over the Thanksgiving weekend,
Work.
Nicole?
Work. Oh, and then today I set up that's what I was just doing. He would not stay. So I was just like, no, you have to go back up there. I was trying to put him into place. And now I'm realizing that I'm going to have to put things this way instead next week. That's okay. But every week is going to be different because I'm going to, I have my R2D2 stocking, got my Christmas tree. Every week will be different, though. I'm going to decorate different every week. I'm so excited. So I love Christmas. And the books will begin to change because I have a small selection there, but they'll begin to change behind me. Or usually I put them in a basket, though, because I like to read books throughout the month of December that are just all holiday related. So.
Yeah. Very cool.
And I'm sad because if I go like this, you can see my shirt. I'm already there.
All righty.
But at the same time, I'm like, but then you can't see Grogu and all the cuteness I just spent time doing. And now I'm just like, shoot, I did that wrong. Oh, well.
And as you can see, Ro has made his way into
How
the
could
chat
you
room.
forget about us, Ro? I mean,
Yeah,
it's us.
I'm offended. Not really.
No. Sheesh.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Very nice.
No, we love Ro.
Yeah. Very cool. So, so you didn't do anything with the family or anything with Thanksgiving? I guess you had some.
Things have just been different the last couple of years since the last two Thanksgivings have been different without my grandma. And so my grandpa would prefers that I plan a bigger festivity around Christmas and Christmas Eve. And so instead we just went bowling at a turkey event that they have at the local bowling alley that he loves to go to. I made a Thanksgiving lasagna and it was amazing, people. Okay. And never heard of it. It's also known as like leftover Thanksgiving, whatever. I don't care. I made it for actual Thanksgiving and everybody loved it. It had layers of yummy Thanksgiving goodness right in a beautiful layer. And everyone loved it. So yeah. But no, nothing. I mean, this year was really low key for the most part because we're just Christmas is kind of hyping it up. So.
Yeah. Yes, she did just say lasagna for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving lasagna. Let's be very specific. Thanksgiving lasagna. And before you say anything, even everybody at my table was like, And I even told my grandfather, I showed him the video ahead of time. You sure you want to do this? I'll try it. Oh, so good. So good. Then again, I'd like to make a special note. I've also made Thanksgiving like grilled cheeses before just because. So for me to throw these flavors. Oh, and I did it 2 ways too. 2 different kind of stuffings, 2 different kind of turkey tenderloins, and oh yes, the flavor combinations were spot on. I loved it.
So I gotta ask. So if it's Thanksgiving lasagna, does that mean that is made with turkey and stuffing and that sort of thing, and just?
I made green bean casserole on the side. No sweet potatoes were in it. The mashed potatoes were homemade because we leave mashed potatoes now very special in this house because of my grandfather's dietary restrictions. So if I'm going to do them, I'm doing them right.
So what do you use for noodles for the lasagna?
Have noodles.
Okay.
No noodles.
So then how's it a lasagna?
Because it's all the different layers.
So it's more like a 7-layer dip.
Not really, because you're actually using, well, I mean, it's all food, but not really. It's different.
Okay.
But
interesting. If you took any pictures, I need to see those.
Oh, it was so good. And I even got it called for white cheddar, so I made sure I got the good stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, gonna get some good stuff going. So, but it worked, especially because we only had a few of us together. This wasn't like a huge, 12 people, 16 people, wasn't what we're used to. So this pared down really worked for our family. So I'm glad it worked out. I really am glad everybody liked it because again, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh dear Jesus, I got 2 pans, 2 different kinds, 2 different with stuffings and things like that. And so I was just like, here's helping. So, and it worked. Everyone liked it. And it tasted great the next day. It was perfect the next day. So it held up. I was like, heck yeah. This means I can make this ahead next time and just throw it in. So yeah. It would also be a really good winter meal. It's really easy and simple. So I made it harder because I decided to make the homemade mashed potatoes and do 2 different type of stuffings and go a different level.
So Isaac is asking, did you have pie?
Yes, we had sweet potato, we had pecan, and we also had apple. My mom makes homemade pumpkin pie because my mom had to work this year. We did not get to have pumpkin for Thanksgiving, but she's off for Christmas, and I'm like, I can't wait. My mom makes amazing, and I don't mean from the can either. My mom purees her pumpkin. She literally buys the pumpkin she wants and makes them, and I'm already dreaming of pumpkin pie. And I'm one who loves pie, so I'm like, yes, Isaac. Yes, we did.
Very good.
How about you guys? How was your guys' Thanksgiving, and did you guys have pie?
Well, Melanie, were there any highlights from your Thanksgiving dinner?
Not like Nicole.
And here's the thing.
I can't top that. We should have ended with that.
The Thanksgiving lasagna was that was okay. Other than bowling in the morning, I mean, really, the meal was probably the best. I mean, yeah, and knowing that everyone liked it was nice. So
Now you have to post a link,
Yeah, we need recipes.
and photos.
I mean,
I think I sent a photo to Steve. Well, maybe to our Red 5 group, I think. But
I mean, it sounds weird, but it's probably really good.
yes.
It sounds like I don't know. It sounds almost like Megan's orange chicken pizza, but
it might be better than Megan's orange chicken pizza,
I would hope so.
because I think it's got that cozy, warm feeling.
Mhm.
Speaking of Megan, she just jumped in the chat. I didn't even see her.
Here, I got it. You know what it reminds me of? A Christmas Story. You know, they go to the Oriental, restaurant, and they end up getting duck instead of turkey.
Yes.
And I can totally see them having orange chicken pizza, except with it was Danny from Comics to Cosmetics. She recommended you do a wonton. She's like, oh, they should do a wonton crust instead. And I agree. I think it would be awesome with the chicken thing. I'm like, oh, yes. But it would be like that, because that's more that type of an aesthetic. So, nothing bad, Megan. We were talking about my Thanksgiving lasagna in person.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Very nice.
So, yeah, one gives you like that cozy, warm feeling, and the other one's just fun to have, So all this is fun to have too, I guess.
Nicholas actually tried it, the orange chicken pizza.
Nicholas did not do it the way we were talking about, though.
No,
he
did not.
Marinara, he had the cheese, and I'm like, I
He
wouldn't have
had
made
the Little Caesars pizza.
Yeah, no, I would not have made it that way. I would have done it, and now I feel like I'm going to have to do it over winter. Maybe I need to do it over winter,
Maybe.
and I'll have to figure out how to do a wonton crust, because I think that would be better. I think that would be the best thing, wonton crust, and then I feel like it's on. Challenge is on.
So yeah, we had dinner on course on Thanksgiving, and everybody except for a couple of us wanted ham, which is fine. I for Thanksgiving I prefer turkey, so Andy made a smaller turkey, and we had that, and then. Oh my gosh, Isaac. We'll come back to that. But then
our chat is eyes.
But then it was in regards to pizza. This is but then my daughter made a sugar-free pecan pie.
Yes. Okay. So back in the day when my grandparents first became diabetics, oh my gosh, I can remember. So my grandma was a chef or a cook at one of the local hospitals and stuff, and she was a really good cook. And so I can remember her doing that to all of our recipes. Every pie got changed. Everything changed. And at this point, I think I've gotten used to it.
So it's funny because we mentioned Megan, and then she shows up. And then we mentioned Nicholas, and he just showed up.
Who should we mention next?
So yeah, the pecan pie was really good. She made it with monk fruit sweetener.
Okay. Did you like it that way?
Yeah, it was really good. It was very good. Very good. So back to Isaac here. I've got to mention this before I continue talking about my weekend.
Please do,
this just sounds nasty.
Whoa. Now, this is a whole new level. Okay, I got to ask a question. Isaac, was this regular marinara sauce? What was the sauce? I need to know. What was the sauce? What was the crust? Before we proceed, I need to know these two things.
And while we wait, Tina is in the chat room.
Hey, Tina.
Melanie, now it's a party.
Yeah,
it is a party. Our chat
gravy for the sauce.
Party within a party. What was the sauce?
Gravy.
Okay, I'm all for this. Now I'm on the Now I'm on the train. I'm on the boat. Yes, I'm with this now. Okay, so was it a traditional crust or was it like a biscuit crust? Oh, could you guys imagine if it was a biscuit crust?
Well, at that point, is it really a pizza?
Yes. It's kind of okay.
I
It's
don't
like
know. It's sounding more like a shepherd's pie.
no, because you make it into like the actual pizza. So you, I don't want to start. So have you ever had like a dessert pizza before? Remember my grandma
If
making
I
sugar?
have, it's been a very long time.
So my grandma would do dough like out of sugar cookie and stuff, and make a pizza, and then do fruit and stuff. Crust was
Here we go.
crust.
So a pizza crust topped with roasted potatoes and carrots, beef,
Gonna
and a
remember
little
this.
cheddar cheese.
I am. Wait, man. Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to try this now. I mean, I kind of just want to try it, just to try it. Although I bet you again, like yeah, a good crust though with a nice little touch of butter. Let's.
Okay. I don't know.
You know about our show. We derail.
Yes, we do. We do.
Where's the squirrel? Where's the rabbit? Where's the train?
What's up, Doc?
So Tina says, okay, I gotta read this one. So we're talking about, guys, at this point we're just talking about Thanksgiving dinner. I made a pot pie type thing with Thanksgiving leftovers, stuffing as the bottom crust, leftover veggies, gravy, and turkey as the filling, and mashed potatoes as the topping. See, okay, right there, sounding a little bit more like a shepherd's pie.
So, like, when I found the recipe, they called it a Thanksgiving lasagna.
Okay.
And somebody else called it there was one later that said it was the leftover Thanksgiving lasagna. And I'm like, okay, because you use your leftovers. But mine was like stuffing, which again, I had two different types of stuffings. And then I did whole berry cranberry sauce. Oh my God, it was so good. Two different types of turkey tenderloins, sliced up really beautifully. Homemade mashed potatoes. I'm telling you, it was delicious with cheddar, and then the layers all over again, and then the gravy was done at the end, and the gravy you serve as you eat. Oh, so good.
Well, she says it tasted really good. So
lamb. See, we get that messed up here in the States. Technically, it is lamb. It's served with lamb.
See, now this one totally makes sense. Nicholas says that his mom used the leftover dark meat to make enchiladas.
So we're going to go visit Nicholas's family next year. Rogue One Radio live from Nicholas' mom's house. We're currently having enchiladas, and we're here to talk to you.
All right. Enchiladas and lasagna. And orange chicken pizza. So anyway,
one last thing before we get going on to other things, I cannot forget to say, I mentioned this, that I was on Dork Wars over the weekend, and it was very fun. I had a great time. We talked about Harry Potter, Year 7, Deathly Hallows, yay, go Puffs. Great time, absolutely great time. And this, I have to add, no, Melanie, do you know what your house is?
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw. Makes sense. It totally makes sense. Yep.
I always forget. I don't know.
Are you Ravenclaw also, right? I think.
I don't remember. Remember, I'm not a what do they call those?
Pothead.
Potter.
Yeah, I'm not in. Yeah, not my thing.
DJ's Slytherin.
But so anyway, so after Thanksgiving dinner, we caught a flight. We drove down to Chicago and caught a flight to Oklahoma City and spent the weekend in Oklahoma. So that was a lot of fun, and drove around and did some stuff and ate some food and saw some family. And I wound up seeing Black Panther for the 4th time.
Yes! There you go.
So that was a lot of fun. And then we came back on Monday, which the flight down there, we had a layover in Dallas. which is fine. Which is fine. We didn't have any layover coming back. However, we did have a delay getting out of Oklahoma City. The plane was broken. So at first they tried to fix it. And then like, yeah, this ain't happening. So we're going to have to change planes. Everybody get off the plane, get back in the terminal. We're going to change planes and then we'll get back on. So yeah, that was a lot.
I'm glad at least they listened into their own instincts.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good times. There was this place in, since we were talking about food, there's this place in Norman, Oklahoma, that I'd never gotten a chance to eat at, called the Magic Noodle. And it's a Chinese place, of course. And never got a chance to eat there. And we had lunch there on Saturday, and it was really good. I was glad I finally got to see it.
Magical.
It was magical.
Like, I want magical noodles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tina, you're right. Sounds like my flight to Chicago. I remember.
Yes, I still remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my weekend, and now it's back to the regular work
Back to the grind.
Back to the grind.
Mm-hmm.
And there you have it. That was our weeks. So let's get some
housekeeping
out of the way here. We are part of the Red 5 Network. Right there, scrolling underneath Nicole, you can click on that link, which is also in our show notes, and that will take you to all, I think earlier on Used and Abused, I said 38 podcasts.
I think it's probably around 38.
On the network, and they're all great, so go check them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see, you can also see us on YouTube, which you're watching right now, if you're watching live. So please subscribe and like and comment, ring the bell, all that good stuff, and make sure you don't miss any episodes. But we're also on a lot of the audio podcasts, if that's your thing. We are on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, a whole bunch.
I hear we're on social media too.
We are. Do you know where they can find us on social media?
I actually do, Steve. Well, you can find Rogue One Radio on Twitter. Yes, I said Twitter. It is still there. I promise it is still there. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and we do actually have a Discord as well, and Facebook. While you're on Twitter and Instagram, make sure you also look up the Red 5 Network, because again, you can also find the bio link right on Twitter, and it'll go straightly to us. So I'm going to throw it back over to Steve, because now we have some thank yous, because we really do appreciate our patrons. And back to you, Steve, so we can cover those.
That's right. We do have a Patreon account, and we have some great patrons that support the show. So we would like to give a shout out to Dave Brown, Kelly and Chris,
Yay!
Don, Nicholas, Scott and Kim, and Amanda. Thank you very much for the support. And if you would like to be one of our patrons, you can go here. That link will also be in the show notes. Just go to patreon.com/Rogue One Radio. And you too can be a patron for as little as $1 a month and enjoy all of those great benefits. What else we got? We've got I don't think we have any announcements.
I don't know, but I just watched the Super Mario Brothers the new trailer.
I heard about that.
April 7th. I will be there on April 6th if it's there. I cannot wait. The new trailer looks good, y'all. And we got the first look finally of Peach, which I love. Because I just have always been for Peach. And Donkey Kong. Oh, I cannot wait. And I love the little mushroom. He goes, aren't you adorable? I'm like, yes, you are. So watch it.
Okay, so we've got a promotion for the Patreon here. who says, if you give to the Patreon, you'll get to watch
Yeah,
the
I know
exclusive
that,
episodes hosted by me.
Hey, we know that guy.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've met him once or twice.
I think you have. He's an interesting character. We like him. He's a pretty cool kid. Guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He comes hangs out once in a while.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he was asking earlier why he was not invited to the show, but he has not watched any of the episodes of Andor. So,
Get to the
I don't
team.
know. I don't know. He should probably catch up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think he's watched all of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know.
Although I will. Okay, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. You know, I don't do rankings, but this is one time when I'm gonna go.
Oh. See, this is why you were not invited on the show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free. Watch it when you want.
There you go. That should be tonight.
Enjoy it at your leisure.
You should watch it all. Okay, so we are going to talk about Andor, but before we get into that, we've actually got a little bit more show. I've got another tune for you. This next one is from a band based out of Germany. I'm not sure what city. Called Primetime Failure. And they put out a new single earlier this year called I Like What You've Done with the Place. So we're going to play that. Enjoy.
Okay.
All right. I Like What You've Done with the Place by Primetime Failure.
Woohoo!
So good stuff there. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Hold up real quick. 1 second. Ro mentioned Mexican food next year for ScareCon. Yes, please. Thank you. Gracias.
Oh, I had Mexican food twice while I was down in Oklahoma.
Oh, man. Just give me food.
Because the Mexican food there is much better than in Michigan.
That's probably true. Although I think in Illinois we have a really good. I think Illinois is just really good for. We're a melting pot. Like we really are. There's so many different things.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean the Chicago area is a little bit more diverse.
Very.
Than Western Michigan. Okay, so back to this comment. I didn't like Rogue One as much as you did, so I'm not really that interested in watching a show about its second least compelling character. Okay.
Well, he can't judge because he hasn't watched yet, so
what? Oh my gosh! Listen to this hogwash.
Ow!
Then you really don't want to hear my ranking at all.
Wrench.
I'll just keep it to myself.
Is your ranking? Is it about? Is it here? Is it here? Or is it here?
Oh, no. The Rogue One Andor ranking is above the OT.
Really?
Yep.
Whoa!
Let's back up. Let's back up a second. Okay.
Because he loves the rank.
Are you talking about Rogue One, the movie, or the show?
I'm talking about the show and the movie.
Okay, because the movie, it's my favorite Star Wars movie, so it is number one in my ranking.
Yep.
So Andor, I hadn't really thought that far through. Huh. I'll have to think on that and get back to you.
Right now, Andor's at 2, and we'll see if season 2 kicks it to 1.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't put people down for how they feel and rank. And Steve knows I am horrible at ranking. So when I go, I like more than this, it usually excites them because they're like, "Wait, Nicole's actually ranking."
Yeah, that's really.
I love a good ranking.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Oh,
I'll do it.
Should. Yeah. My social media is riddled with lists of random stuff.
I think that's why I have Letterboxd, just so I can rank stuff.
Oh, do tell. What's this?
Letterboxd is fun. You can keep a diary of what you've watched. You can keep lists of what you watched. You can rank things.
Really?
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Do it, people. I'm asking them next week on the show. Did you go to?
Oh, it's funny. And then at the end of the year, they give you your most watched actor.
Really?
And because I watch a lot of old movies, I had a character actor named Ned Sparks, who was my most watched actor because I watched a lot of Warner Brothers last year.
Is it?
I was very surprised to see Ned Sparks.
Okay, is it
actor?
Letterboxd?
Letterboxd.com? Okay.
Yes. And there's a fun little app. You can put it right on your phone and just make lists all day of what you want to watch.
Okay, now I want this. I want to see. I will say I was really excited last year when Spotify actually, ranked like all the favorite things like through your playlists and things and your albums. So now this year I'm like, it'll be interesting to see where it hits.
Yeah.
Although
it's similar with Letterboxd. They tell you who you watched the most and genres and all that stuff. It's fun.
Very cool.
Okay, I'm game. I would this would be like a really cool New Year's Day type of show. Just saying, Steve.
Yeah. I am.
Although last year I thought my Spotify was a little off because I was just like, wait. Sometimes like Spotify will play other music that I'm like, no, I want to listen to this song, not that song. So I felt like my rankings were off a little bit. I'm like, okay, you guys know that I like this Fleetwood Mac more than I like this. Same.
All right, I have an account now.
You heard it here first, folks, and I'll be doing it after the show.
What else? Yes.
I called it. I said,
think of something else.
Very interesting. Okay, where is catch up with the chat? Oh, so Joy has joined us in the chat, as well as extra Star Wars.
Anything. We haven't even gotten to the main topic yet. We'll get there. We're having fun with squirrels and bunnies today.
Yeah.
And
So,
Frank.
okay, here's a new comment that I actually will have to agree with from Blue. If they made an Afro show, I'd watch that. I would. I'd watch an Afro show. For sure.
I agree with half of that comment.
Yeah, I will go. I will. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'd like to see an Afro show. I mean, well, we talked about it. I thought Afro might show up in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what time it is now, though? It is time for Rogue One Radio's picks. So, do not feel obligated to participate, Melanie, but if you've seen the show lately, we do this little segment where we pick something that we have watched, read, or listened to. It could be a song that you would like to recommend to our listeners. So if you would like to participate, I'll let you go first.
Oh, well, you know what? I've got one that probably Nicole knows about already. It's called it's called The Lady in the Lake. And it's a film noir, but it's a Christmas noir. It takes place at Christmas time. It stars Robert Montgomery, who also directed it, father of Elizabeth from Bewitched.
Bewitched, yes! As soon as she said Montgomery, I'm like,
that's her father.
Yes.
And he plays Philip Marlowe. But the interesting thing about this movie is that it's all done in point of view narrative. So you're Philip Marlowe all the way through the movie.
So wait, is this a TV show?
No, it's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Lady in the Lake. It's from 1946.
Because I'm pulling it up and it's saying that it was a TV miniseries. Nope, no here. Okay, so
it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
they could have redone it. But
right.
This is the movie.
Okay.
With Robert Montgomery. And the only time you see him is if he's in a mirror or a window, you'll see a reflection, but the rest of the time you're Philip Marlowe in the movie. So people are talking directly to you when you're asking them questions.
Okay.
About this case.
Oh, I found the from 1946.
Yeah, and the tag was "You and Robert Montgomery solve a murder together."
Okay. Very interesting. All right, so I will put a link to that in our show notes. What do you got this week, Nicole?
Oh, I don't know if I recommended this last week, and so I might be doubling up. But I know I did snacks last week too, so oops.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if I did this one last week, but if I didn't, then I'm doing it now. And if I did, well, then I'm going to tell you twice, 2 weeks in a row. All right. I watched Wednesday. I love it. I mostly love it. I give it like 8 out of 10 or 8.5. There's not much that I really don't dislike about it. I love Wednesday. Jenna Ortega, fantastic job. Of course, seeing Christina Ricci on the screen was really awesome too. I just recommend it. Oh, and Gwendolyn Christie, who plays Phasma. Oh my God, she nails her role, and I'm like, yes, like she nailed her role, and I loved it. I mean, I felt it. I'm going, dude. If I don't know if I could stand so straight and keep a straight face as Wednesday Addams did. The way she did in front of that character, because Gwendolyn Christie just killed. I mean, she was just awesome. In Wednesday, and it's on Netflix. It's really good.
Netflix.
8 episodes. There is going to be a season 2. Tim Burton did great. I mean, again, there's only a little. They're minor details. The things that I'm just like. But other than that, I mean, honestly, and those minor details only happen very little. So everything else made up for it. I was like,
very cool.
But I mean, I love Addams Family. I love, Charles Addams, and I give kudos to him. That's where you start. You always think your creator first. And he so good. And again, Jenna Ortega, she did great. I have to say this. I mean, not one, but for me, every Wednesday Addams that has done the small screen or the big screen has done well for what that was during that time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the 1960s to the 1990s with Christina Ricci until now. And each Wednesday Addams to me has been perfect. And they nailed her perfectly. Okay, that was wrong. That sounded wrong. I'm sorry. The character was awesome. Nails in the coffin, man. We'll say nails in the coffin because that just seems like something.
Very cool.
All right, what about you, Steve? Because I could be here all night to talk about Wednesday. I know I've been biting at the bits for that one.
Yeah, I know. So I've actually got a comic book to recommend. This is part one of a series. I don't remember how many there are going to be. But remember a movie that came out earlier this year? You may have remember a movie called The Batman.
Oh, I love The Batman. I cried.
So
the movie. Yes.
the actor that plays the Riddler
Yeah.
is writing a comic book called The Riddler Year One.
Shut
And
the fuck up. Are you going to show us this?
while I was in Oklahoma, I picked up issue number 1.
I need this. I need that in my life.
And I think this is the only one that's out so far.
Okay. I will have to go to my comic book store hopefully over the weekend to check it out because I need that. I need that, Steve.
Yeah, I stopped into a comic book shop in Norman, Oklahoma called Speeding Bullet Comics,
Nice.
which is I had only, when I lived in Oklahoma, I had only been there less than a handful of times, but I really like it. But yeah, I was in there and I was like, oh, Paul Dano, that's the guy that played Riddler. So I'm like, oh, I gotta check this one out. So I did, and I read it, and it's really good. It's definitely worth a read.
That Riddler was so creepy. I can just thinking about him just makes me creeped out. Just thinking about it.
So this book or this comic book, or I'm assuming the whole series, takes place before the events of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty interesting. It talks about basically how he got from being a forensic accountant to a psycho. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Wrong psycho. Sorry.
No, wrong psycho. All right. Well, that is the end of this week's Rogue One Radio picks. Be sure to check us again next week for more picks.
Already for next week. I'm so excited, but we'll get to that at the end.
Yes. So we do need to talk about Andor, but before we do that, we're going to finish up our music segment with one final music break. This is from a band out of Toronto, Canada called the Flatliners. And they put out a new album in August called New Ruin. It came out, in August from Fat Records. And the song is called Performative Hours. So here you go. Where's it at? Did I upload it? I sure did. Okay, there it is.
Let me start by peeling back my skin to at least let a little bit of soft light in. Not something no one's ever seen before, but I just couldn't sit on my hands anymore. gradually. So here's a picture of you that of course includes me. Watching for friendship in a digital age is reminding you of the exact shape of my face. My face. If I wanted out, if I wanted out, I run it out. Sincerity now. If I wanted out, a bill just to burn each one of us down. Yeah, burn it all down. Before what happens. Before what happens. If I wanted out, if I wanted out, I run it out. Of sincerity now. If I wanted out, if I wanted out, I run it out. Sincerity now. If I wanted out, if I wanted out, burn it out till the brain's a black cloud. If I wanted out, they'll just burn each one of us down. So burn it all down. Burn it all down. Burn it all down.
Heck yeah.
All right. Performative Hours by the Flatliners. Yeah, that album's actually one of my favorite albums of the year.
Awesome.
So Andrew joined the chat. So hello, Andrew. Good to see you. Yeah, while we were listening to that song, I'm trying to figure out this letterbox thing.
And then here's me resetting up Grogu so maybe people can see him with the Christmas tree. Is Scott still in the chat? Yeah. Scott, he's still in the chat. Yeah,
he
man.
might be, but he's probably about to leave because he's not caught up on Andor last time I checked.
I think, no, they are. I think they are because they were talking a little bit about today on Used and Abused. And Scott said, I'm not sorry, Scott. No, yes, Scott.
Oh, there he is.
Said something, and I'm like, yeah, Scott. Yeah. And he knows. I don't even have to say what it is. And if you want to know what I'm talking about to Scott, just go back and replay Used and Abused podcast because they're pretty awesome too. They got some really cool stuff coming up. So that was pretty good.
So I have to echo Scott here.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow us on Spotify so you have the access to the playlist of all the songs we play. So if you like that and want to continue to hear them, yes, we have a Spotify playlist, but I also have links to all the bands in our show notes as well, so you can go and listen to more.
Okay, yes. Okay, so I'm just reading the chat, and yes, continued thoughts and
That's
prayers.
dangerous. You really shouldn't do that.
What?
Read the chat.
Tornadoes?
No, read the chat.
I was just reading it.
I'm telling you, it's dangerous.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Andrew, I highly recommend putting on Wizard of Oz right now. After the show. After Extra Techie.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about having that playing while we're talking to see if it syncs up.
Like Pink Floyd.
No.
Yeah.
Remember, Pink Floyd, The Wall came.
Yes. Yeah. It's actually Dark Side of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you ever done that, Melanie?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that when I did that. Yeah, it's weird how well it syncs up. Yeah, I did it when I was living in Alaska, and I was like, this is so weird.
We had a theater here that used to do that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, I want to visit that theater when they do it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they used to do it on a regular basis.
That'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be psychedelic.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Do you
All
want
right.
to talk about Andor? Because that's pretty cool too.
I do think that we probably should talk
Oh yeah, that's
about
right.
what we're supposed to be
think
talking
you will
about.
be coming on later.
Yeah.
We're here
yeah.
for it, right?
We should
And
probably
we
talk
also
about
love
Andor.
to support each other.
All right. So unfortunately, we got the last episode of the season 1.
Yes, we did.
And it was a longer episode.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a bit about that by starting off with our overall impressions of episode 12, Rick's Road. Melanie, what do you think about it?
I loved it. But I loved every episode, so I wasn't surprised about that.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing the start of the rebellion there.
Mhm.
I really loved that. And the lead up to it was done so well.
Yeah.
And Marva's speech was just unbelievable. Can we just talk about how great Fiona Shaw is? I mean, I knew she was a good actress. I mean, I knew that.
Sure,
I've seen
why
her in a
not?
lot of things. But she brought so much to this part. And the whole thing was just, that was just epic.
Yeah. So that does kind of remind me of the rest of the show, where there are so many of these like epic, you could possibly call them soliloquies,
Mm-hmm.
that they're just so amazing. Like, there are just so many of them. And this was, right up there. I really liked that almost all of it took place on Ferrix.
Yes.
Because, like, everybody showed up there. Well, with a few minor exclusions, but we'll get into that, because I really had no business being there. But for the most part, everybody had a stake in this epic conclusion to, and this like crazy, like I said it last week, shit's about to go down on Ferrix. I mean, it's going to blow up, and it was. Ferrix is a powder keg, and this episode really played on that, and it was great. We still never got the dinner party, but
I think that was that one thing was the dinner party.
No, I'm holding out for next season.
After there's a time jump.
But
he wants the whole thing in a cookbook.
I think because he wants to see the food and the face, and he's like, wait a minute. And he's waiting for those particular characters, and when that didn't happen.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was a great episode. Sad to see the end, though. And then we will talk about it later, but the after credit scene.
Yes.
What do you think, Nicole? Okay,
so last week, you said powder and keg. You got it right. You did. You got it right.
I did.
I said pomp and circumstance and fireworks. And we got it. And I also said, yes. And I'm so excited because, again, you mentioned Fiona Shaw. And I said last week, I'm like, I have a feeling we're still going to see her. I still think there's something coming. I said, I think she's still going to have a last word.
She certainly did.
Circumstance and fireworks. And yes, she did. Go Marva. I loved it. We'll talk about it and get into characters. I was just like, oh, I got most of my prediction right.
While we didn't get, like, her stone wasn't a bomb like we thought it would be, but
man,
her words were.
It kind of was.
Her words were a bomb. Yeah, it was crazy.
Although I thought, of all the tributes they could have made to her, using her brick to start something.
Yeah.
Well, I had a moment.
Perfect.
Wait. I have a feeling we're going to talk about this character, so I'm going to wait. We're going to wait because I think we're going to talk about this character that where there was a bomb made. And I'm like, Oh, okay. But I'll wait because I think it's coming characters.
Well, because there weren't really any new characters, we're kind of going free form with this one. So we can talk about specific characters.
Oh,
It
Nicole,
wasn't
we've
really,
gone freeform all night. Come on.
we I mean, we really didn't get any new
on the
characters.
on the train though, on the
That's true.
on the rail slightly.
That-
But I was really hoping the kid that made the bomb. There was two I thought that were newish, and that one was the kid that was making the bomb, that made the bomb. We finally got to see him step up into a bigger role, and there was a clear something was going on because they made a real close. They made it very known, by the way the camera was on him, that this was very important. He was making of course the bombs, and then of course the traitor. Yeah, he got some karma.
Yeah.
That didn't turn out well for him either. But no, when it came to that moment, because again, like you said, we didn't get her as bomb, and although her words were definitely explosive, I kind of was wondering when the kid was making, or the young man, sorry, guy, whatever, he was making it. I thought maybe that was part of the stone originally. And then when he came out with it, it was separated. I was like, oh, okay, that's two separate things. But I originally thought maybe it was going to be part of what was coming. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, obnoxious.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I completely forgot about a new character that we did get. We got to see them for like 2 or 3 seconds. But I'm referring to Davo's 14-year-old son.
See, I told you we got new stuff.
But we didn't really get, I mean, we just saw him. There was like no talking, or don't even know the guy's name. But I thought that was really interesting how Mon Mothma kind of turned that on Perrin.
Oh, do we want to talk? Do we want to skip all the way to that?
Let's talk about it. So she's in trouble financially, but she blames it on him, and he's like, "What?" And she's looking for a reason to make this deal with Davo, and poor Perrin becomes the scapegoat.
Poor Perrin.
Not
really.
Poor Perrin.
And DVD. I can hear that going, "Justice for Perrin!"
Tina and I are renting a bus to run him over. We're going to throw him under it.
I could totally see that.
She totally threw him under the bus. It was holy crap.
Yeah, but I wonder if at any point and this is where I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm actually going to be Ro for a moment. Ro has mentioned this, at least in our channel, if he's mentioned it online, but what if Perrin's really knows what's going on? What if he's really in on it and we're not seeing?
I've been saying that. I'm telling you, he's a spy.
You're right. We think he's, it could be possible, but I still don't think he is. But I could be wrong next season, but right now I'm not.
Yeah.
So, but I did in that moment when she started talking about it, I was like, oh, she's doing it. She's gonna say that. And then I realized when they panned the camera to the front of the vehicle, right? The limo drivers appear and things, drivers appear, and you could see back, and that's when I'm like, you son of a biscuit, you're a you know what I mean? You're a spy. And we knew that they had spies. We knew he had Luthen mentioned to her about the changing of the drivers and things. Yeah. But I didn't fully was a new driver every day. But then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you stinker. You're but then I loved it because that means when he went back to ISB, he gave them different information and not the actual information. So I was like, nicely done. Sometimes you have to protect your family that way. I don't know why, but in this case, hopefully at some point she was honest with him and said, hey, had to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was either that or our family's in trouble. You know, kind of like Alderaan in the long run. Like, boom,
Yeah.
like,
And
kablooey.
and Isaac, that was kind of what I was getting at. He's how come it won't? Oh, there we go. Use the husband gallons a reason
Right.
for the money.
Correct.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were getting at. It's like she's throwing him under the bus. And,
around for my book, and that is about the casino. Canto
Yeah.
Bright is also mentioned.
that is right.
So I'm kind of now want to go back and read and see if maybe if I'm missing anything.
I haven't read that one yet.
So,
I mean, the next book that I read is going to be a reread because I've got to get prepared for a future episode that we're going to do.
Yes, but because that's not until January, I will now wait until January. And I'm a fast reader.
But if I start now, I have a higher chance of being done by January.
Okay. Sorry, I'm enjoying my holiday reading.
Remember, I am a very slow reader. Yes. Unless it's a comic book, I can read that pretty quickly.
Well, I would hope, unless it's a book comic.
Which does bring me to an interesting point. You know that they made a manga of that book?
A what?
A manga. Do you not know what manga is? It's a Japanese comic book.
Oh, anime.
More or less, yeah.
Or is it another? No, not. No,
I mean it is kind of, but it's mangas are if you've never read one, they read. It's kind of weird. They read back to front.
Mm-hmm.
It's odd, but so Lost Stars manga is 3 volumes long. But I've never found volume 1. I found volume 2 and I found volume 3, but I'm like, I don't want to read it if I don't, you're not reading it from the beginning.
I'm not going to lie. It makes my brain hurt to think about reading front to back. And
the panels are backwards too.
Yeah. It takes some getting used to, and I'm not sure if I could go there, but that would make a great graphic novel. I think that could be pretty cool, but yeah, I'll just read the book. But what were we talking about?
Andor. We're talking about Andor.
And what's up, Doc?
So
our squirrels and our rabbits back in the train.
Yeah. So I'll have to do a sound effect of a train derailing. So we were talking about Mon Mothma, and man, I totally got off track. I don't know what we were talking about.
Derailed. Choo choo.
We were talking about characters.
Aaron.
Oh, we did find out that despite my best hopes, Krieger did bite it.
Yes. Oh, that scene was so fast. I don't know about you guys. I felt that was so quick, so that we didn't. It's like we got a lot of detail in a very short amount of time, and at the same time, I was like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, that was a little disappointing to me. I wanted to see him to make it through, but
I'm not sure how Melanie felt, but again, I just felt like that was a lot of information in a very short amount of time, and I was like, wait, okay, we knew that, but what?
What?
Yeah. That was Luthen's collateral damage.
Yeah.
And it got treated that way.
Yeah. But that scene was so quick.
It was. So, a couple other characters I want to mention is Cyril and Deidre.
Oh, which one you want to talk about first before we go there?
Both of them.
Both
of them. So both of them.
Norman and his mom. That's the vibe, right?
Yeah, that is kind of the vibe.
Boy's best friend is his mother.
So he shows up because he gets wind that Andor is going to be there, and of course Deidre's there because she's looking for Axis. And yeah, so they both end up in the same place, and then hey Cat's in the chat.
Yeah.
So the battle ensues, and they get caught in the crossfire, and Cyril saves her, and they end up very close.
Shooketh.
Yes. I feel like I should thank you. You don't have to.
Yeah. Oh man. One again, I have said this from the beginning. I have absolutely loved Deidre's character.
Mhm.
The actress is amazing who plays Deidre. Like, I believe her, and it feels like it's not
Mhm.
forced.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna lie, when she got trampled, y'all, I may have been cheering.
Yeah,
I
a
wish
little bit.
I was like, whoa, oh man, this could be it. This could be it. And then all of a sudden zero happened. I'm like,
You had time
My-
to kick her again.
okay.
My reaction was absolutely the opposite.
You are
I was screaming inside because I'm like, no.
Well,
Because she has a good character.
Yes.
well, right. And I get that too. And that was so part of me again was cheering. Part of me was actually kind of like, because I really want to see her in season 2. I really feel like this actress is just so good. I do not want to see them killing her off in this particular season. But then again, we have a couple other actors too that was amazing in the season, and they are died off, like Marva. But Deidre.
It's the best cast we've had in a series, I think.
Yes.
Overall.
Although hold up, somebody had mentioned. I'm trying to remember what it was. They were talking about Deidre and going back and whether she would still be a part of the ISB. I think that was on Science Fictionary the other day, or what would happen with her.
Neither one of them can die yet because we need to see the connection.
Right. So, but oh yeah, it was on Andrew's thing on the other night of Science Fictionary, or maybe it was on Saturday Night with Scare. I can't remember. But somebody had mentioned about Deidre going back and if she'll still be with the ISB or she'll be like Serial where she has to start all over again, or if they'll demote her. And because they said, well, this pretty much goes on her. And part of me goes, kind of not actually. And it took me a few days to actually think that out because in the part with Marva, right? There's E2MO. He's doing, Marva's up there, talking. And it's actually the one officer that comes and covers up, E2MO that covers him that actually kind of starts the final push. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's saying, rise, go, you know what I mean? Climb, and all this pomp and circumstance, all the stuff that she's, kill them bastards. But that moment when he did that, that was more him than Deidre. I could see Deidre being like, don't do it. Like, I honestly think if she would have been next to him, he might have died.
I think they're
might have done to Serial. So
I think they're pinning it on her because it was her idea to let the funeral go forward.
But they needed that. And here's the other thing. Okay, here's the other thing. Those jerks should have listened in the first place. She's been calling it out since the first episode. She said something's happening. And they did not, they chose not to listen. This is their fault. They should have listened. If they would have listened sooner, this wouldn't have happened. This is on their heads. Well, they don't want to take responsibility because they are jerks and because they're the dark side and they're evil.
I agree with you, but we're talking about the Empire. So they're going to do what the Empire does and blame somebody whose fault it really isn't.
You argue back with me so well on this right now.
They're going to blame it on a mining accident.
Yeah. But you know what's going to be interesting is the fact that Cyril saved her and how that's going to be leveraged by each of them. Is she going to try to bring him along? And if she doesn't, what is he going to do?
Is he going to wage war on her?
Yeah.
Like the way she does with Andor.
Because now that would have happened to him twice. It happened to him in the beginning when he was a mall cop, and it's going to happen to him again.
Right.
Now that he's got a shot.
Yeah. But real quick,
Cyril Karn, mall cop.
one quick thing with Serial, though, that did not happen, that I had hoped would happen in this season, which better happen in season 2, or I'll be mad that they even included this. And that is the uncle. We still don't even know who the uncle is. I'm like, he was supposed to show up by now in my book. We haven't seen him. And at some point.
And the thing is, Cyril's dangerous.
Yeah, he is. I don't trust him.
No, and he's been pushed down so much.
Right.
That he could go either way. He could go to either extreme. He could turn. I know a lot of people think he's going to switch sides. I don't know if he'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to stay with
evil.
the Empire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. I have a theory about the whole uncle thing.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think this is going to be very disappointing to you.
Oh,
I don't think they're going to explore that at all.
It's a MacGuffin.
I think it's just dungeon dressing.
Well, I'm going to shackle them up in that dungeon then. That's not nice.
If they took that away, his mom would have nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
She can talk about it.
It's her thing.
She can talk about it, but I don't think we're ever going to find out who he is. I think he's just uncle.
What would happen if it ended up being Tarkin? Would y'all's minds explode?
Well, okay, so what's the uncle's name? Because we know what Tarkin's name is.
I don't remember.
It's Harlan. She
Harlow?
keeps saying Harlow or something
Uncle
like
Harlow?
that. And Tarkin's name is Wilhuff. So I don't think it's Tarkin.
Known to his friends as Harlow.
Okay, I can't. I want to know. I have questions. Mr. Gilroy, I got questions. And
I think it's nothing. I think it's just meant to.
It's a little bit of shading.
I'm going to leave my shading.
That they've got some pull, but it's not enough
set.
pull. He's probably somebody who's at a certain level, but not a very high level.
Yeah.
It's enough to get him a cubicle, but it's not enough to get him to where he wants to be.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm holding out. Oh, and speaking of Serial, I did hear, and I know it's been talked about, News and Views mentioned it. It's been talked about a little bit on the podcast, and that's the last 2 days. And that is, is that Andor?
No, that's Leia.
It's Leia. Aw, she's so cute. I love her. I love cats. And that is that they've started shooting the next season, and I guess part of those first scenes included Serial. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. Are there any other characters that you want to talk about?
Yeah, we haven't even gotten back to Marva, and we haven't yet even talked about Bix, nor Luthen, nor Andor. Oh dear, Jesus.
Andor? Why talk about him?
Okay, Cassian, Andor.
I'm kidding.
And of course, we have to talk about Luthen and his change of heart, and we have to talk about Marva again because pomp, circumstance, fireworks.
All right.
Yes.
I think Marva changed his mind.
Yes, absolutely. She changed.
She raised that kid.
She went through the heart, man.
Mm-hmm.
Harpooned it.
And then you can kind of see the wheels turning. They do such a good, this is why you have really great actors, because you can watch them and you can see them thinking through all this stuff while they're just standing there saying nothing.
I love it.
It's so good. But but when I watched it again tonight. And I was sitting there thinking, he's sitting there thinking, he's hearing all this, and it's all tracking with what he thinks. It's all stuff he believes, and he's sitting there thinking, she raised this kid. And how much of this rubbed off on him, and he might not even know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how much
it turned out to be true.
Right. And how much he might have also realized that he was in the wrong and really had something very, diamond in the rough.
It's his redemption arc. Yeah.
Right. So it's his time to kind of step it up. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you know what I was thinking, Steve? I was thinking for a prediction from last week that has to do with season 2. And I'm like, oh, dear God, please no.
Oh,
Sorry, I want your prediction to be wrong.
I mean, Luthen's not going to make it.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to die in the first episode, season 1. I'm like, season 2. And I'm like, no.
First
I don't think he's going to
5
make it. I don't know if
minutes.
it's going to be the first episode, but I don't think.
First
I don't
5 minutes.
But
I'm
I don't
holding.
want to go on in episode 1 either.
I'm sticking to it. First 5 minutes of season 2.
Oh.
What, his ship just blows up or something?
What's that?
His ship just blows up or something?
No. He's gonna
Go out in a
go
blaze
out in
of
a
glory?
blaze of glory. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It might be in his ship.
Yeah.
It could be. But yeah, I think we have seen the last full episode with Luthen.
No.
I think they're gonna have to, because this second half of the story is gonna have to like hone in on Andor as they carry him towards Rogue One. He's gonna have to take the reins somewhere.
Yeah, they do have to lead into Rogue One somehow. So at that point, I mean, they gotta bring in K2 at some point.
Yeah. So
Makes you wonder what's going to happen to B2. But
I don't know, B2.
okay, but back to Marva. You wanted to talk about Marva.
Yes. That beautiful, wonderful, powerful. Oh my gosh, how many other words can we use? Just her speech, her final words, like that final hologram. That was again, pop circumstance fireworks. That's I mean, I literally just loved it. Every moment of it, so strong. You know, I don't know if it was, no, it wasn't last week, but the week before, maybe it was the week before that. I can't remember right now. When we were talking and I had said, well, this certain parts remind me of the Holocaust. And in this case, okay, this is going to sound odd, y'all, so just hang in there with me, or if not, don't hate me on me. It reminded me a little bit of the American Revolution, a little bit, like that strong, like Thomas Paine, like the original people that were coming and fighting the British, and we're going to do it, man. We're going to, you know what I mean? And that strong, that scrappiness, that powerful speech. And that's what it kind of reminded me of, actually. It was interesting because usually I don't try to associate real life history with this stuff. I really don't. But again, this is the second time in this series that I'm like, it reminds me of something. In this particular case, it just reminded me of those times for some odd reason. And that's what sometimes you need to do. People need to rise up. And that's what she was doing. Or as Hamilton also saying, you better rise up, you know, and that powerfulness. And, yes, until that officer jerk, you know, covered B2, you know, we're not done yet, folks. B2MO.
And she was a little bit Neil Young, right? Walking in the free world.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. And you could just
people sleeping in their shoes.
I could feel it all over. I could feel it all over. I loved it.
Yeah.
Joy has a question about one of the characters.
Oh, we don't need to lose his backstory, you think? I hope so. I would love to. Thank you. See, this is why we cannot have him die off in the first episode in the first 5 minutes. I vote no.
I bet he gets a novel.
Oh,
that would be nice.
Do I?
You know, if they did a Catalyst type novel, but with him.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we get that whole story. That'd be great.
Lucasfilm, if you're listening, just hire Melanie now, please. And I'll take a copy, please. 2. 1 signed, 1 regular. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty easy to please sometimes.
And we all get to meet Stellan Skarsgård.
That works.
Yeah,
I would love
that too.
Have him on the show. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what time is Extra going on?
I don't know if it's 8:30 or if it's 9. I don't know. They started early last week.
We should probably start wrapping it up.
But we talk about Cassian. It's his show.
I mean, what really is there to say about him?
Well, what did you think? I mean, him going back on his is pretty cool.
Yeah, the final scene with him and Luthen was
Oh yeah,
really great.
I will say that was a very tense scene.
Mm-hmm.
Him going back there and I love the fact that he didn't get on the ship. He went, no, go. And then that's when you knew like he was stepping up, man. And I was like, yeah, here we go. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So Extra just said it's 9:30. He's starting at 9:30. So
okay, everybody after us, you get to join us in Extra Techie Star Wars. You can follow us.
In the episode itself, we didn't get any new locations unless you count the after credit scene.
Yeah.
I did say, you know what? I bet you they're making the death.
Mm-hmm.
Did say that in the episode.
Now, doesn't this look familiar here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder where we've seen that before.
Mm-hmm. We all knew those weren't widgets.
I knew it.
Yes. I knew it. I was like, I was telling people from the first episode of the prison, I'm like, they're making parts of the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think we did very good on our predictions this season.
For the most part, yeah.
Yes.
But we were
didn't get correct or just yet. It could happen.
Yeah, but from that first prison episode, we were saying those are parts of the Death Star.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff. All right. Well, Melanie, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. It was fun.
It was great.
I know. Sorry, your little chatterboxes here. Should be chatterbox radio.
Yeah, you know. It's the price you pay for coming on our show, I guess.
But fun.
Yeah, but thank you for coming in, and thanks to everybody in the chat room for coming and hanging out with us. It was pretty full tonight. We had a lot of fun. And next week we are gonna be talking about
I know what you're talking about. I'm ready.
Tales of the Jedi.
I'm so excited. I have been waiting for this since the day I first watched it, and then I watched it a second time, and then I watched it a third time. I may have watched it a few more times since then.
I've only watched it once, but I will watch it at least one more time before next week. And Lunar Girl will be on with us.
I'm so glad Kelly's like me, and we both like binged it several times within the first few days. I was just like, yes.
And I think DJ might be back with us.
I hope so. That would make my heart so happy.
DJ has been on sabbatical, but yeah, I think he will be back. I think it's next week that he'll be back with us.
It's either that one or when we do that in 2 weeks for the holiday special stuff. We'll see.
I don't remember. That's right, because in 2 weeks we're going to be doing our annual holiday special. And it's going to be very interesting because we don't even know what the topic will be and won't know the topic until that night.
Oh, yeah, we kind of do because you're on Letterboxd now, so we know there's going to be an element. I'm just saying.
Well, if I figure out how to
there
use
may
it.
be you'll get it.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'll
easy.
figure it out. All right. So
real quick, a couple quick things other than join us again with Extra Techie. Quick reminder, this Friday, the Red 5 Tavern returns. So please join us Friday night for the Red 5 for the dungeons. And next week, before I get back here on Rogue One Radio, I will actually be joining Used and Abused to talk about A Christmas Story and the new sequel of A Christmas Story Christmas. I think
nice.
And
I have seen that.
I am so excited because, I mean, I just love Christmas and I love Christmas movies and, I just love a lot of things. So, very excited to talk to Scott and Kim about that. So I hope everyone will join us then. This is going to be a good time.
All right. Again, Melanie, thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks.
And Nicole, you want to call us out?
Sure. I don't know what the squeaky is, but yeah, sure. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here at Rogue One Radio, and may the force be with you. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Like a bantha.
Like a bantha. I got to get